Every great story begins with tiny seeds. Each wheat grain, carrying the sun's warmth, now turns into a fine white dust. Hidden deep in this quiet space, tons of ingredients are waiting to be awakened. A decisive cut ignites an endless, snowy white flow. In another corner, life is silently blooming. Yeast, water, and temperature create a miraculous microbial dance. The liquid yeast, carrying the breath of life, is poured in. Pure water gushes out, ready for the perfect blend. The massive machine begins its first heartbeat, slow yet powerful. The steel spiral twists, pulling scattered elements close together. From initial chaos, a smooth texture gradually emerges. The pace quickens, the dough hitting the bowl like the strong pulse of a new being. This thin yet resilient membrane is proof of perfect elasticity. The weight of life pours down, complete and full. A light dusting of flour like morning mist to cradle the first result. The dough begins its rest, preparing for transformation. °28°C, the ideal temperature for the song of yeast and flour. Time seems to stand still, making way for growth and vibrant life. Tiny air bubbles burst, carrying the rising breath of malt. This wonderful elasticity is the result of patient waiting. It is time for the machine to lift the massive dough to a new level. The waterfall pours down, ready for separation. The piston presses firmly, condensing all essence into a frame. The cold strike of steel creates uniform weights, precise to every gram. Each small dough ball begins its own journey on the rhythmic ribbon. Passing through cold steel rollers, excess air bubbles are squeezed out, leaving the finest texture. The mesh net rolls them up, enveloping the future bread fibers. A small army, moving rhythmically one after another. Diligent hands glide over, missing not a single flaw. Shiny black steel pans are ready to receive. A thin mist of oil glides by, the perfect shield against stickiness. The robotic arm precisely drops each dough roll into its destined spot. But sometimes, it still takes a human touch to keep everything perfectly aligned. The lids close, embracing the lives growing in the dark. Thousands of pans enter the giant proofing tower, a silent theater of time. Ethereal steam embraces them, keeping the dough surface moist and smooth. The conveyor belt hums along, counting down every moment. Inside the sealed steel, the dough constantly expands, filling every empty space. Emerging from the tower, they now wear a completely different look. Peeking under the lid, a smooth white color has risen to the peak. Carefully closed, confirming readiness for the final challenge. Straight ahead, where the fire is waiting. The oven mouth swings open, exhaling sweltering heat and brilliant firelight. Rows of pans slowly enter the tunnel, beginning the firing process. Bright blue flames dance under the steel mesh, transmitting intense heat. Life inside is boiling, changing structure under extreme temperatures. Steam escapes from the gaps, carrying the scent of ripening wheat. Through each temperature zone, caramelization begins to paint new colors. The crust touches the scorching pan walls, turning a beautiful golden brown. The journey through the fire tunnel ends. The final door opens. The pans now radiate intense heat, carrying the fully ripened fruits. The power of magnetism lifts the heavy steel armor. The perfect golden brown crust is finally revealed, releasing an alluring mist. The pan flips, preparing for the moment of parting. The loaf slides gently onto the soft belt, completely liberated. Experienced hands support them, restoring their proud square shape. Cold air rushes in, causing the crust to contract with surreal crackling sounds. A river of golden bread flows on, a scene of abundance and prosperity. The cooling tower rises high, cradling tens of thousands of loaves in a giant spiral. An endless orbit of gentle waiting. Cool breezes sweep through every gap, stripping away the last of the heat. The journey from top to bottom is when the loaf reaches its most stable state. The crust is now completely cool, elastic yet firm to the touch. They are ready for the destined cuts. The loaf moves toward the blades, roaring at high speed. Sharp saws tear through the crust, crumbs bursting like tiny fireworks. In an instant, the unified block is divided into thin, even slices. Though separated, they stand close together, keeping the original form. A gentle touch to ensure no slice is misaligned, revealing the fluffy interior with perfectly chewy bread fibers. The robot clamps both ends, maintaining the precise formation, passing through the metal detector, the final safety checkpoint. The blue wave signal glides over, confirming absolute purity, smoothly moving toward the area to receive a new coat. A thin layer of nylon stretches out, ready to embrace the result. A decisive gust of air inflates the space inside. The loaf slides quickly into the bag, a perfect fit. The machine gently draws out excess air, keeping the bread fresh. The bag mouth is gathered neatly and decisively. The plastic clip tightens, sealing the flavor inside. Each package leaves the production line one by one. Hundreds of inflated bags, shimmering like bricks of fulfillment. Swift hands neatly arrange them into cool blue crates. Stacks of crates rise high, a testament to a successful batch. Wheels roll softly on the spotless factory floor, quietly leaving the place where they were born. But before reaching the world, one slice must pass the toughest test. Scissors tear open the seal. Hands carefully separate a slice for inspection. Stretching the dough fibers, measuring endurance and wonderful flexibility, a small steel weight presses down, verifying the softness of the white crumb. An electronic eye scans every nook and cranny for any faulty air bubbles. Under the penetrating light, the perfection of the texture shines through. A pen stroke lands, marking absolute approval for gold quality. The finished warehouse is now filled with warm, square blocks. Shrink wrap tightens, protecting the shipment for the long journey. The forklift wheels turn rhythmically. The giant bread pallet is lifted, leaving the factory floor, heading straight out where the trucks are waiting. Resting comfortably in the cool space of the refrigerated truck, the rolling door slams down, closing one journey and opening another. The fleet rumbles out of the yard, carrying flavor everywhere. The sky outside is still immersed in the quiet blue of dawn. Wheels roll hurriedly on the dew-drenched road, silently passing through sleeping streets, carrying energy for the new day. Then, when dawn knocks on the door, a familiar bag of bread sits peacefully on the kitchen counter. Simple hands gently remove the sealing clip, pulling out 2 square slices, still as soft as the very first moment, gently placing them into the toaster slots, starting a morning ritual. The lever is pressed down, awakening the warm heat source. The heating elements glow red, once again waking the crust. The bell rings. 2 golden slices pop up like a morning greeting. A thin wisp of steam rises, carrying the fragrant scent of toasted wheat. A layer of golden butter glides lightly over the crispy surface. The heat melts the butter instantly, seeping into every tiny pore. The knife makes a crispy crunch, a sound that awakens all senses. Sitting beside a warm glass of milk, a simple yet complete breakfast. Lifting a piece of bread, feeling the crystallization of a great process. Breakfast begins, closing the symphony